Hey guys, Surgeon General here, and thank you for tuning into the Surgeon General podcast. Now, everyone lives their lives differently all over the world. What we do here in America might not be normal to others, and vice versa. I mean, hey, sometimes you can't take the village out the villager. Am I right? Here to share her experiences with me is friend of the show, Natasa. Thanks for coming to the show. I wanted to continue the conversation that we had the other day about things that we do that is weird to our foreign brothers and sisters overseas. The thing is, whenever I go out there, because I'm like the foreigner in the group, that it's almost implied that I'm either going to be paying for it all or paying a lump sum, and they're paying like nothing. Maybe the parking. Do you have that experience with going out over there with your friends and family?
If you were a girl over there, they pay the bill for you. In
Mm.
this case, they're not expecting you to pay the whole thing. Maybe they're just like, pay your part and we'll pay ours kind of deal. Like, no, we're gonna spend our money on the broke bitches, but you're good. Your dad drives a truck.
But I love when it comes to like paying for things at the end. They're just like, no, 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 put it away. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. And people get mad, like actually mad when you offer to pay for things. Like, for example, for the whole birthday thing. Here, it's like, y'all pay for me. I am paying for y'all.
Yeah,
And over there, it's the opposite, where it's like, I'm paying for y'all because you guys are my guests at my birthday.
I invited you, so it's my thing to pay.
Right. Do you find that weird?
Um, well, obviously not, because that's the kind of thing we grew up with. But like, my white friends find that weird.
They're
Like
gonna be
you
like, why are you paying for all of us?
Right, like you invite all your friends and like, like your half Serbian friends sitting on one end of the table, the half or not the half, but like the American friends are like on the other half.
Hmm.
And you start paying and nobody on this side's even budging. Like they didn't even bother to bring a wallet. They're just like, what is that? And then these guys are just like, like what? But I had extra meatballs on my spaghetti. Like I should really pitch in.
Well, here's the thing. Those people that know that you're going to be paying for it on purpose get the most expensive thing on the menu, and that pisses me off even more. I'm just like, I ain't having that. Moving along when it comes to the clubs and drinks over there, have you found that they don't know how to make mixed drinks like bartenders over here? Because I remember mentioning in our conversation how my brother ordered juice vodka and literally got a cup of juice and a cup of vodka.
Well, I'll tell you, they know how to mix it with water. Like
Water it
any
down, right?
order, they're like, "Oh, we're mixologists." Fucking tap, just water right down there, and you're like, "Wow, I just had 8 shots of tequila and I'm fine. Like I must be superhuman at this point." And then you're like, "No, you're just hydrated."
They got to cut corners somewhere, right?
Right?
And I know here they like douse your drinks. Well, I mean, not douse it, but pretty much have so much ice in your drink that like there's barely any drink in it.
Yep.
Over there, I remember you mentioning in the conversation how ice is actually a luxury, and I can contest to that.
Seriously, like you order ice and you're like, "Can I have water with ice?" And they just kind of look at you like, "Who do you think you are? Like, did you just roll out of the embassy? Like, what the fuck are you?" And you're like, "I'm just really hot in this nightclub. And let me tell you, the foam party you have going on right now is not cooling me down any way, shape, or form."
Oh, gross. I just imagine a bunch of like greasy, dirty ass people, that includes men and women, who are just rolling around like pigs in mud in this whole foam soap party that they have over there, which by the way, I don't think anyone's had that here because no cleaning crew wants to clean that up.
No, well, it's sticky. And I feel like soap should not be sticky.
Well, they're convinced that by having this party, it's like my accent is kicking in, right? That I don't have. And like they have these parties to clean the place up, right? They're using soap. Let all these people just rub it all in.
I know. You know what though? I didn't like go into the foam, but like the people are like bouncing around and they walk through, and then like the foam finds you no matter how hard you try to run away from that.
Hmm.
Then like the stickiness, like legend has it, my shoes are still covered with like the stickiness from it all.
Totally. Well, what I said in the chat, I'm just like, you know what? Some of these people don't shower, so they take advantage of the free suds. That's my theory. It could be easily proven.
You know what's weird? I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but I've only seen that like back home. If like someone's coming off like a road trip, which is like Sarajevo to like here or not here, Vienna or whatever, like they're
Hmm.
long distance, like they'll ask to shower in your place, but they don't have like clothes to change into. So they just shower and
And
then
then
put
go
on.
back in their dirty clothes, right? Yeah.
Is that weird? Or am I just like,
It's weird, especially to me, because I'm a germaphobe, and it's like I shower like anytime I like sweat because I just don't like that like
mhm,
feeling of perspiration and not feeling clean all the time. It's like these people might have different hygiene routines, if any. And to them, it's like I'm clean and
yeah.
I just so happen to have clothes on my body. It doesn't matter if it's dirty or not because, again, I'm going to get dirty.
I'm like, no. See, I have like this touched outside, so now it can't go on my bed. Like
Oh,
I
yeah,
wear
absolutely. I do the same thing.
right. And they don't do that. They're just like, I was just on a 5 hour car drive and I'm gonna put on the same exact underwear. So I imagine
For
like the
real.
kind of party is also washing their clothes too. And they're just like, I'm saving
You
so
know
much.
what? A washer and dryer is also a luxury. You want to talk about ice? Talk about washer and dryer. Because I know some people who just have the washer and nature's the dryer.
We do. Our apartment is like that. And then it's like outside that it's like a table and it like folds weird and you hang all your clothes on there. But then like
With the
when you
strings,
yeah.
yeah,
And then you unpin it and your shirt's like forever in this folded
it's like
position.
crispy as fuck.
Mhm. Like I break it in half.
Whenever I'm over there and I have my clothes washed, it literally hurts to put it on. How crisp it is and how hard the fabric gets.
Yeah,
Especially the towels. I'm literally like as if I'm drying my body with sandpaper.
yep. It's a natural exfoliant, really. It's just at least they're doing something to take care of themselves, you know? They deserve it after a whole day of sitting at the cafe drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes.
Speaking
And
of that, and whenever like I'm in the city and walking around, these people who are sitting at these cafes drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes all day, they almost smell the foreigner off me from like a mile away. Like they just know like who this, you know?
well, it's because you have a cloud of fresh air around you and they're not used to that.
That.
Like where's the yellow coming off your teeth, you
Yeah, I don't
know?
know if they've ever smelled Versace Eros or Burberry Touch.
Fosachi. They
Huh?
got Fosachi
Versace.
oversay.
But for real though, I remember one time it was like dark out and it was fall, which is like my first time going in like a colder weather over there. And we're walking next to it and someone just like walks right in front of me, like from Libertas, like zooms out and just stands right in front of me. I look up and it's like a cousin of mine that I met for the first time like the year prior.
Mhm.
And he goes, Otkuti. I'm just like, Otkuti. Like, how do you even know it was me? He goes like, oh, no one looks like you around here. So I just knew like everyone's like, who the hell is this? And I recognized you. I'm just like, damn it, man. I'm trying to be incognito.
Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned Libertas and running into cousins. I actually introduced my cousins who were cousins themselves. Like,
Oh,
like our grandparents are all siblings, and I was there with my cousin, my grandma's sister's granddaughter, right? And we run into my grandma's brother's grandson, and I'm like,
wow.
"Oh, you guys are family too." I don't know if you were aware of, and but I do want to ask one thing: like, how underage were you the first time you went like out back home?
Ooh, I would say 14, 15-ish.
That's
Not my best years as far as what I look like during puberty at all. And another thing that didn't help me is that when I was younger, like every time I would go over there, I'd get sick with something different somehow. I don't know if it's from drinking the water, like getting the flu like that, or getting food poisoning. But the one summer I started going out was when I got a really bad eye infection and left a scar in my eye. So that was cute. I looked like a fucking pirate going out to these things, and I may dig up a photo of what I looked like back then. I look like a member of the Beatles because back then it was like when Zac Efron was popular with like the longer hair, Hollister, Abercrombie, like that was the thing. It did not work for me, and I don't want to think about those bad times.
I feel like you mentioned Hollister and Abercrombie. Like that's how you stand out as a foreigner.
I
Like
did wear that. Yeah. But
nowadays it's Vans. I feel like if you wear Vans back in the motherland, they're like something's off.
here's the thing. I've learned over the years, don't take your best items over there. You gotta dress down, not dress up, because you dressing down is dressing up to them.
You know what's funny is my mom and dad have this like mentality where they like, I think we all do, where like you buy new clothes for vacation.
Yes.
Right. And you're like, I've never done yoga in my life, but I'm gonna do, yoga on the pier at the beach. So I need white flowy pants and I buy stupid shit like that.
Hmm.
And like my mom's big thing is like buy new underwear and socks. I don't know why. But
I've heard of that.
my uncle is like, hell no, I'm gonna buy all the stuff, or no, I'm gonna buy all the new stuff and put it in my drawers, but I'm gonna rid my drawers of all the things with holes and stains and everything, and that's what I wear over there.
Okay, well, that's I draw the line at that. I mean, I wouldn't take things that have holes in it and stuff like that, because like, what if you're walking around in your underwear, there's like a hole where it shouldn't be.
But I think he was just like, and then it lightens the load on the way back, so you can put all your gifts and tour like,
So pretty much all that stuff's going in the garbage over there, or being no, not really garbage, but being sparked on fire with the rest of their garbage.
yeah, probably.
This all pretty much comes back to the fact that I think we're too spoiled here and don't appreciate, and we also take for granted like simple things that they don't have over there, like air conditioning
They have one unit
for the whole house,
for the whole house.
if
Yes.
they have the unit.
But they never turn it on.
No,
They don't.
never.
That gives me like
Pa
headache.
troši struju, ko će to da plati? Neću
Oh, no,
ja.
I get the ubi me u glavu.
Well, what's the point of having it if you're not going to use it?
Right? And then you're sitting under it sweaty, and they're like, don't do that, and like, not katsimokar. And I'm like, what else am I gonna sit under this? Like,
Seriously, that's why I appreciate some of the cafes that I go to over there. Them just like, nope, table right there, right underneath it. I want it to hit my back to where I get up from this chair with arthritis.
yeah. No, that's what at the nightclubs, out here, you go and you bottle rat so you can get free drinks off of the guys at the table and the booths
Mhm.
and stuff. Like over there, you bottle rat so you can get closer and closer to the air conditioning.
For real. And going back to the ice thing for a second, their freezers are not used to freeze water. They're used to freeze the meat that they
Mm,
need to keep all year round. So don't be surprised if you open up the freezer, which is not a typical freezer in the fridge like how we have here. It's really meant to put like a whole animal in there.
I actually have one of those. Well, my mom does. So the freezer in the garage, like
Yep.
it's just meat, like all the thing that everything that we've dried out. And so like when pandemic when was like first going and everyone's buying up all the meat, like we're kind of sitting there cozy.
Right.
We're good. We got like pigs, cows, you name it. Even got some salmon.
Totally, totally. Well, you never know when a pandemic is gonna hit. So usually all the Balkan people are ready, set, go because you know that we got kupus in the bude, we got frozen meats and fish and stuff in the freezer, and then like your fruits and veggies that are like within the house.
Dude, my mom was Bear Grylls before Bear Grylls was a thing. Like we were at this like apartment complex and the water got shut off for a while. And so everyone like was bullying, like they're like, oh shit, what do we do? My mom takes buckets to the pool and fills them up, and she was like flushing our toilets with like the buckets of pool water.
Oh
And
wow.
my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, like my mom's a wizard. She knows everything. I was like, I realized she grew up on a village, and that's actually how they flush their toilets.
I've seen that a couple times in the early days of me actually going there when as a younger kid, and then people started to modernize. And have you ever used the? Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. The Podskivece.
No, over my dead body.
See, when I was a kid, we had to use that because at my mom's family's house, that's what they had. They did have a toilet, but it was like the dumping of the water kind.
Mhm.
Now, when that wasn't working for whatever reason, it kept breaking. I really don't know. You'd have to like back that ass up into that hut and
I
hop a
couldn't
squat.
I couldn't do the hut because of the smell.
It was
I really couldn't.
rancid.
So I'd be like is there a cornfield nearby? Like if it was not close enough to a city or a neighbor or someone who had a toilet, like or even a tuta at that point, I'd sit on the lake. Like I have no,
Seriously, a children's tuta?
yeah, and then and if like down to the wire, if it was between the outhouse and the cornfield, I'm like, well, it's fertilizer, so.
For real. In the clubs or cafici or whatever, have you noticed that their toilets are really just a hole in the floor?
Well, did you? I actually thought about that when we were having this conversation about luxuries.
Hmm.
My brother went to a club in Zvornik, and this is like the first summer that it opened, and it was like inviting all these like B list celebrity singers, not
Hmm.
on but on band music.
Oh, those are the best.
Right? So that was like attracting the crowd. And my brother went, and I don't know if like they weren't finished building the toilets or like if they only had a women's bathroom or they only reserved the toilets for the women. I really don't know what the case was, but when they asked to go to the bathroom, they were like directing them outside to a cornfield.
Oh,
Like it was an actual cornfield behind the club, and they were just like, yeah, every guy goes there.
but what do you have to go number two? I know it's fertilizer, but can you imagine like trying to find a spot to like do your business and it's like, whoop, there we go, the
I just
Adidas
pack up,
shoes.
I pack up and go home at that point.
I hold it in, UTI or not, I don't care. Like it's easier for a guy because we whip it out and just pee, right? So the hole in the ground is fine. But like you girls, I can only imagine like how hard it is to A, be in heels, B, squatting in
Yeah.
heels, C, having it be slippery from people missing the
Mm.
hole, and praying to God that nothing bad happens to you.
It's I gotta say, like, that was the ultimate leg workout. But like, again, this is what they were telling the guys. I really don't know if the girls had to do the same thing. I hope not.
Hmm.
But the guys were being directed. And then like my mind, because again, we were talking about this already, my mind just went to like, remember the Great Gatsby? Because this is like early on. So I'm like, did he have a toilet too? Or was he like, hey, go across the pond. I hate that guy. He stole my girlfriend. Go shit on his porch. Like,
Who knows, man? Now, let's switch gears a little bit to talk about some delicacies over there and some foods that are common to us, but they make differently, or they don't know how to make it, so it tastes weird. And certain combination of foods don't make sense to me either. For example, like we mentioned mayo and ketchup being very, very weird tasting over there. But the thing that makes me gag is when people like dip their chivapi and fries in mayo.
it's like sweet over there.
Ugh, the catsup over there. Mm-mm. Nope. It's like runny, gross.
And it's like in a tube of toothpaste too.
Yeah,
Just like,
where
yeah,
is my Heinz? Where are
I
the
don't.
Hellmann's?
But you know what? My mom eats egg rolls with sour cream.
Okay, I see that. My dad does that too. It's with like przeńce and like uštipke and stuff. So it's like whatever. Something as simple as a pizza is really nasty over there for some reason.
Because they put ketchup on instead of sauce,
And the
and
cheese is just not it.
like you pick it up and then it all falls down. But wait,
Totally.
that's restaurant pizza now. Grandma's pizza is a different story.
Oh, we don't have that shit by me. We don't make no pizzas by me.
I was like, Grandma's pizza is basically a slavsky kolach. It's an entire thing of bread with like tomato on top.
It's basically lepina with sliced tomato.
Yeah. And it's like it's a pizza, and you're just like, Grandma, this is not. This is extra deep dish. Like, this is,
At Nosalo is that's the only place I've had normal tasting pizza. Nowhere else. I've had something called a pizza palaciniac. As you can imagine how tasty that was. It was not. It was basically two crepes
mhm.
and a bunch of that nasty ass ketchup we hate. Um, Shunka, which is fine. They have a different tasting shunka, which is fine. Some cheese that was questionable. They don't have mozzarella, and I've never really stopped and asked like what it was, but it's nasty.
Have you had their hot dogs over there too?
Had their hot dogs? Absolutely not.
They do you remember? I don't know how poor you were if you ever were when you first came to America, but remember the Vienna sausages in a can?
I know what that is. I've never had it. Luckily, it was not something we consumed.
We're spoiled. We're so spoiled.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, here's how spoiled I can be. Since we're talking about food, I in my bag would bring a bunch of Pringles, cereals, like little tidbits like from home kind of thing to A, make myself feel comfortable, B, introduce them to new foods that are just like so simple and common here that they're gonna be like, oh my God. I was obsessed with Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, so a couple of things of that was in my bag. And my mom wanted to whoop my ass when I was rummaging through my bag and I spilled all the Pringles chips in my bag. She wanted to fucking whoop me in in the cabin in front of everybody. Um, and one year we brought Rice Krispie treats and marshmallows to make I'm sorry, Rice Krispie cereal and
Mhm.
marshmallows. And they were amazed, like, jao, Snaja, šta si ti ovo napravila? Ovo je super, šta je ovo? Moram napraviti za slavu. I'm just like, Rice Krispie treats for Slava?
See, my mom never let me bring food over there. I always wanted to bring peanut butter because they don't have that.
Oh, we brought that. The Smucker's pinwheel jelly. That was our shit.
Well, not even that, even just plain old peanut butter by itself, because that's like my weird food that I'll eat for any meal, any time of
Hmm.
day. And like my mom was like, "Such store, like they have enough food over there. Try something else." And I was like, "But it's peanut butter."
Do you
But
drink the fresh milk over there?
no, not from a cow.
Like you get your store bought one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, in a square box.
Oh, absolutely. Moja kravica all the way, all day. Okay.
You know, when you pour it, the little gas bubble gets in there and it just like spills the whole thing out.
Basically, it's a tsunami on the table.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's the experience of drinking the milk that way.
Totally. I at one point, like in my early teens, um, would like not eat a lot of the foods because I'm just like, it's a little bit too fresh. I don't know if it's like well cleaned or anything like that, or if they wash their hands preparing it. Like I was that big of a germaphobe. And once I discovered chipsy chicken drumstick flavored, game over.
That's a thing. I haven't tried that one. Everyone's all about the gypsy ketchup flavors.
I know. I don't know why.
I
Like
don't,
I understand the pizza flavor, fine, but
and they're
mm,
too thin. They just get away from you.
no, these were like the shape.
The
It was a
waffle.
waffle design, but in the shape of a chicken drumstick, and it tasted like it. I'm like, yes, it's like faking me out, but it's satisfying me at the same time.
Oh, speaking of dairy products, I remember the first time I was offered pita with yogurt. Because here we say kiselo mleko, like that's just been our thing. Or ketchup,
Yeah,
like
like
you just
the preliu preko.
no, like the little cups that they have, and they
Oh,
just shake it up
yeah,
and you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I remember like they were like, "Oh, do you want yogurt with that?" But I thought it was like yogurt fruity. I was like, "Oh, do you have strawberry flavored?"
Yeah, strawberry banana yo play.
Yeah, the Activia just kind of adjusting to the
To
food here.
make sure you're regular, right?
Exactly.
One thing I wanted to mention going back to our talk about restaurants, do you ever find that tipping people over there is like frowned upon?
Okay, so I like swear by tipping just because
Yeah,
like I
me
live
too.
in industry and city and stuff like that. So over there, I tip. I'm like, okay, cool. The bill is like deset maraka. Here's two, like
Right.
20%, and then they're kind of like, whoa, like it's Have you seen Euro Trip?
Yes.
Like Amika, I quit.
Yeah, seriously, I'm opening my own hotel.
Right. But then my dad's like, no, he's like, we don't do that here. It's just like if you have like bad fanning guys, you're like what is
Kusud.
Jane, yeah, kusur. I was trying to figure out the English word for it,
Mhm.
and he's just like, yeah, that's bakshich. That's it. And I was like, Amika.
Well,
I
there was one time like I overpaid on purpose, like here, take the change, you filthy animal. But but he would come back to like, oh, dao si mi previše. I'm like, no, no, you take it. But some of them are just like offended that I gave them more money. I'm just like, what? If I did that over here, they'd spit in my food.
right? They're like, who do you think you are right now? Are you looking down on us?
Yeah, seriously. It's like, no, I mean, I'm helping a brother out, so how about a thank you? And number two, it's like, I really don't know. It's like in a place where they're dying for work and dying to make money that you're offended that I'm giving you extra money.
And that's like the only person who works at that place. Like
Yes.
the bartender, the bar back, the waiter, the busser, the host, like
Hmm. Hmm.
you're doing everything and you're gonna be offended that I pay you.
Totally. Do you ever find yourself mixing English words in your Serbian language over there? I know I do, only because like my grandparents and my parents over here do, so that kind of like was brought to me.
So I try so hard not to. I really do, just because I feel like I'm gonna get laughed at and made fun of, and like then I get really anxious, and I'm like, I'm a mute. I'm a woman of few words, and they're like, wow, she must be an artist.
Let the work speak for itself.
My grandma actually did that, and I called her out on it, and then I was like, oh my god, like something just went wrong here. But she said insurance to my aunt over there, and my
Insurance.
insurance,
Hmm.
yeah, and my aunt's like, a šta je to? And then I was like,
Yeah,
osiguranje.
yep. Yep.
And I just kind of like shot my grandma a glance, and like you can just feel like the and like
Yeah.
building the back of her head, just it's gonna come out any second now.
Totally, totally. I know like one time I was talking to my grandma, it was just us two in the kitchen. I go, Baba, gde ti je gadbić? She goes, šta ti je to? I'm like, girl, you don't know what gadbić is? Like, what? She goes, nemam pojma, šta je to? And I'm pointing to it because I see it. It's like halfway open because the garbage is really the bottom half of the oven. And that garbage is
Yeah.
then brought to the pigs to eat and gnaw on the food items. The plastic goes in a different container. And she goes, Nesine to je smeće. And then from then on, I always knew, like, hey, that ti je smeće.
See, here I don't even say garbage; I say basura.
Oh my
Like in the
God.
Southwest, like just
How do you say bathroom over there? Because over here, we mix up a few things. Closet y bedroom.
we say WC,
Okay, WC should be what
water
it
closet.
is. But, even over there, they've gotten used to our lingo that they even use it themselves. Like, for example, if we're, I don't know, let's just talk about properties, right? They're like, yo plaćaš taksu. Yo digneš rentu. They're just like, huh?
Yeah, that's the one. Like taxa, and we say that one. They don't know what that is.
Right.
Like we've gotten to the point where we say insurance, like we know Srdjan, but like it's just easier. And
Totally.
my mother-in-law is so funny. She forgets, like she says anyway.
Uh-huh.
She'll say anyway all the time. But I guess I don't know, I forget the phrase. But she's also from Belgrade, so she has like this like long phrase that means anyway. So she goes, I don't want to say the whole phrase, so I just say anyway.
Uh-huh.
But no,
Nice.
they say hot dog now too, and I'm like, wasn't it hrenovka? Like
I
I
have never heard that word in my life.
you never
Hrena what?
hrenovka?
No, girl. Vidishle.
Well, that one too. But I'm a mixed child. My mom speaks like old Serbian and old Bosnian.
Oh, gotcha. I know we also say hot dog.
Yeah, dude, my mom speaks like Turkish after all the TV shows she's watched.
Oh, God. Does she watch Hiljadu i jedna noć Šehrazada?
Yeah, that was
Mala
her.
nevesta?
No, she watched Mala Nevis, and she like binge watched, and she's a dealer at the casino, so she
Mhm.
actually had people from like some part of Turkey, and they said something, and she actually understood them.
Mm.
Like she went on her break, and her boss is like, "Hey, they're requesting that you come back and deal at this table again because you speak their language." My mom's like, "No, I don't."
She like knows it. Hi, how are you? And they're just like, oh my God.
Well, she said like a couple things, and then like when they were trying to explain to her what they wanted, she kind of got the gist of it because
Mm.
we've all learned to like talk with hands and
Hmm.
whatever. Like if you're my cool, I'm looking for a mouse trap, you go to Home Depot and you say Tom and Jerry, problem Jerry. Like you circle.
Mousetrap?
Yeah, he was like, he goes Tom and Jerry, my problem Jerry, and the guy at Home Depot was like, I got you.
Oh my God. I have never heard of that, but that's amazing, I must say. I don't know about you, but I feel like older Balkan people associate like one show to like all kids shows. So it's like everything that my nieces watch to my dad is like, oh, yo gleda Barney. I'm like, Barney's been off the air for like 20 years now.
Yeah, my mom, everything's SpongeBob.
Uh-huh.
Good Bob.
Sunjat Bob, yeah. Going back to what we're talking about being spoiled, this is proof that we're spoiled. And it's when we're expecting the water in the shower to last forever and be hot forever. And usually, not usually, 100% of the time, I forget to turn the boiler on ahead of time. So I'm literally showering in cold water. And my wee wee does a scared turtle because it's freezing. And then I end up using those scratchy, crispy towels
Mhm.
to scratch the shit out of my body.
I don't know if you call it fortunate or unfortunate enough to be able to turn around. The boiler's right there with you in the shower, so you can just go click,
So
like hit your head on it when you're shaving your legs, and just
that's exactly what I was about to say. Usually the boiler at my dad's house is in the tub with you where you're supposed to like turn on the water. So it's like boop,
Yep.
and you get a concussion. The boiler in my mom's house is, I think, in another room. I can't, or maybe it's like hidden somewhere. It's not in the bathroom with us. That's what I do know. But I find myself taking survival showers, like, rinse, lather, rinse, get the fuck out. Because you're
You know,
afraid it's gonna go like cold
yeah. Well, I don't wash my hair when I'm over there. Like I go to a salon and just get it washed and blow dried. And again, that's one of those like I'm
frequently.
kind of things. Well, like one, there's four of us, and we gotta conserve the little bit of heat that we have in this boiler, so it's just like jump in, jump out kind of thing. Like you said, survival wash.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's also like we go in the summer, so it's super humid. And then like you
Mm-hmm.
come out and you're like, I'm still wet, and I don't know if that's the water or that's my body. So just to kind of not deal with like frizzy hair or whatever, I go downstairs. My aunt has a salon in the same building, so I'm just
Oh,
like,
nice.
wash and blow, please.
And she'd be like, "Pay me, please."
Well, of course I do.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me about this and continuing our conversation from yesterday. And I hope our listeners have other suggestions or experiences that they want to share with us, whether that be in the comments on the YouTube video or emailing me directly or anything like that. Any final thoughts? THOT.
That's Helena Carlosha.
But this was a great conversation. So I'm glad we did this and we shall talk very soon.
All right, see ya. Have a
See
great
ya.
night.
You too. Bye bye.